I want it back. I want it back. Do you have it? Because I want my children's future back. I don't think anyone in this room took it, but I would like all of you to help me get it back. While I was working 3 jobs, paying taxes, and raising my 3 children, someone stole it. Now, do you know, right now, it is easier to move up the economic scale in England than here. In a kingdom with a king and a queen. How have we gotten to this point? And what has happened to the American dream? It wasn't just stolen from us. We were hoodwinked, bamboozled. How has the other side turned everyone against middle class and poor people? How has so much shame been laid over so much of our society? I can tell you, a slick marketing company came up with it, and it's been executed brilliantly. Yeah, admit it, it was brilliant. So what they've done is they've made up a lie so colossal that at first you don't believe it, but then you hear it over and over and over, and sooner or later you start to believe it. And if that statement, if it's aimed at one of your friends or your relatives, you start to question them. And then you dislike them. And then you turn on them. And then the worst thing happens. You just don't care about them anymore. And that's when it gets dangerous. But that's where we are right now. Now, do we try to tell people that the other side is an evil empire like in a movie? Or do we try to re-educate them? Or do you want to help me fight this? Now, in the history of the world, tyrants with organized armies have often been beaten by smaller, compact guerrilla armies. Now, the way we need to look at this 2014 race is we need to hit here, and then we need to hit over there, and then we need to retreat and replenish, and then hit back over there, and then hit back over there again. We need to use media and social media like it's never been used. We need a Democratic spokesperson. We hand out a typewritten press release while the other side is on television. Now, whose point of view do you think is heard or seen more? If one of the Republicans goes on TV and makes a statement, sometimes we don't even have time for a rebuttal, which is actually our legal right. It's called equal time. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to make coalitions between African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, middle class and poor whites, any and all minorities. Even if they don't like each other, we have to figure out a way to get along and get them to quit voting against their own interest. Now, the way 20% of the state controls 80% of the state is they get all of us to turn on each other. This information is key. Take Obamacare, for example. The 20% that don't want it tries to convince, and does convince, the 80% that we don't need it, that it's illegal, that it's immoral, repugnant, disgraceful, socialist, and the words, they go on and on. But the good news is, the other side thinks they've already won. We just need to quietly organize and take advantage of their overconfidence. And the best way to do this is to market politics like it's never been marketed before. We need to make a conscious choice to support Oklahoma. So we need to lead by example. Now, statistics are nice, but behavior is what people actually notice. How do we become the party that rebuilds this state and rebuilds this nation? How do we become the idea party and quit being the reaction party? It's okay to get involved, not just politically, but directly. And here's an idea. when you get involved, wear your Democratic shirt. Have someone take a picture of you. Post it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, that's marketing. And if you don't know how to do this, have one of your kids or your grandkids show you how to do it. You can have an immediate effect on your local neighborhoods. Be a good neighbor. Pick up trash on your morning walk. Wear your Democratic shirt while you're doing it. Have someone take your picture, post it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have your kids ask an elderly neighbor if they need their lawn mowed. Have them wear their Democratic shirt. Post it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, if you've got time on your hands, volunteer at your local school as a hall monitor. And when you do wear your Democratic shirt, have somebody take your picture and post it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, since I've been running for office, I've been called some pretty terrible things. I've been called a liberal baby killer. I've been called names that my mother would wash my mouth out with soap if I repeated them. I've been called a welfare queen. I've been called a traitor to my people. And I was told as a woman, I shouldn't be allowed to run for office because what was written in the book of Timothy. I even had someone tell me if I voted for Obama that I should not be elected to office. Now, this is the view of the Democratic Party by many, many Oklahomans. But the problem is these people who are deeply rooted in their hatred, we're not going to change their point of view. But what we can do is change the views of the people that they have spilled the hate on. We have to prove to these people we're good. And the easiest way to do this is to be caught in a good, productive act, wearing your Democratic shirt, having someone take a picture, post it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, we can go door to door. We can tell people how good we are and that we're decent. But you know what? We'll prove it a lot better if we're wearing our Democratic shirts and posting it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, this is a solvable problem, and we Democrats need to take the lead. We don't have to ask for permission to solve these problems. Quit waiting for someone to come along and solve them for us. And most importantly, by wearing your Democratic shirt and posting it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. What better way to advertise for Democrats that we're proud and we want to be part of the solution rather than complain about the problem? I love this state. I want my grandchildren and I want my grandchildren to grow up here. Now, my favorite quote is from President John F. Kennedy. And he said, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And when you do it for your country, be proud. Wear your Democratic shirt, take a picture, and post it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. My name is Cathy Cummings, and I want to be your next Lieutenant Governor of this great state of Oklahoma.